Imagine this. You wake up determined to do everything differently, but suddenly your brain is already sabotaging your plans. Constant distractions, procrastination that never goes away, and that feeling of always going in circles. Sound familiar? The truth is, your brain, as it is right now, might be your biggest enemy for success. But what if you could reset all that? Yes, it's possible. This video will show you how to reprogram your mind, even in a world full of noise and difficulties. After all, your focus and potential don't need to be victims of circumstances, and I'm going to prove that to you. So tell me, how are you feeling today? Answer in the comments so we can chat. Every beginning of the year, it's the same story. Huge resolution lists, big dreams, and an enthusiasm that seems endless. Until February arrives. The person starts full of energy, committed to changing their life, but then comes a series of distractions, whether it's an irresistible new series, the phone that never stops notifying, or even that invitation to go out that ends up taking up the whole weekend. It's no coincidence that most New Year's resolutions fail before spring even arrives. The challenge isn't setting goals, but staying focused on them. Speaking of focus, it's often what's lacking. The biggest barrier to achieving any goal is the difficulty in sustaining attention on one thing at a time. Modern society is filled with noise, and maintaining concentration has become a lost art. People start the year with grand goals, but soon find themselves split between 1,000 tasks. The secret is learning to turn off everything that doesn't contribute to your growth, and that includes even silencing the phone during the most productive moments. A practical example of fighting distractions is starting with the habit of breaking the day into focus blocks. Imagine a morning where you decide to focus on just one task at a time without checking your phone or opening social media. It sounds simple, but it's powerful. Let's say your goal is to read more books. Set aside 30 minutes right in the morning, without interruptions, just for reading. This practice, repeated daily, creates a discipline that can extend to any other New Year's resolution. For those who find it difficult to stay focused, the 30-minute technique can be a transformative solution. Here's how it works. You pick a single task and dedicate 30 uninterrupted minutes to it. It could be something like organizing your work desk, writing an article, or even learning a new skill. The important thing is consistency. And if it doesn't work the first time, that's okay. Learning comes with time, and the secret is in constant repetition. One tip that few people consider is the influence of the environment on New Year's resolutions. Imagine someone trying to lose weight with a fridge full of sweets and soda. It's almost mission impossible, right? The same goes for any goal. If your aim is to be more productive, your workspace needs to reflect that. Organized, clean, and free of distractions. An environment aligned with your goals makes the process easier and more enjoyable. Another crucial factor is mindset. Someone once said that the new year begins in the mind, not the calendar. Those limiting beliefs like, "it won't work," or "this isn't for me," need to be reevaluated. The person must replace scarcity thoughts with a more positive and opportunity-focused view. A good strategy is to adopt daily affirmations that reinforce commitment to the goals. For example, "I am capable of achieving my goals in a disciplined and consistent way." During today's video, besides the main topics, I'd like to share something that's made a difference for me. Recently, I started using Cineboost, which has been helping me improve focus, energy, and even reduce anxiety in my daily life. If you're interested in learning more, check out the pinned comment, and the best part is you only pay for shipping. Distraction is like a silent thief. It creeps in, diverts attention, and before you know it, the day has passed without any major accomplishments. Whether at work or home, constant interruptions deeply affect productivity and well-being. Social media, for example, is a champion at diverting focus. Checking messages for a minute can easily turn into half an hour of scrolling through feeds. This creates a cycle of distraction that's hard to break. Distraction is not just an enemy of productivity, but also a factor that undermines personal confidence. Imagine someone trying to learn a new skill, like playing guitar, but stopping every 5 minutes to respond to messages or check notifications. progress will be slow, and the feeling of frustration will inevitably grow. This even affects how the person sees themselves, creating a mentality of, "I can't do it." To really combat distraction, you need to take a more aggressive stance toward notifications. A practical strategy is to use the "Do Not Disturb" mode on your phone during important activities. For example, if the goal is to write a chapter of a book, it's essential to silence the outside world. Another effective tactic is to use headphones with instrumental music to create a focus-friendly environment. A small adjustment like this makes a big difference. Lack of focus is not just a matter of external distraction, but also of internal clarity. Often, people get distracted because they don't have a clear goal to focus on. If the goal is vague or uncertain, the mind is more inclined to seek external stimuli to fill the void. A practical solution is to start the day by writing down on paper the 3 main tasks to be accomplished. This creates a mental map that directs focus. Another interesting example is observing how high-performance athletes deal with distractions. For them, focus is a matter of survival in their sport. Just as a runner needs to keep their eyes on the track, people also need to learn to ignore distractions around them. Establishing concentration rituals like meditating for 5 minutes before starting a task can be a powerful practice for getting into focus mode. As impossible as it may seem, it is possible to train the mind to resist distractions. A practice known as deep focus intervals can help with this. Here's how it works. Choose a task and dedicate yourself intensely to it for 25 minutes, then take a 5-minute break. This cycle is repeated throughout the day, helping to maintain concentration for longer periods. Over time, resistance to distractions naturally increases. The issue of distractions is deeply linked to the next topic: how to achieve true focus. After all, knowing what hinders you is the first step to finding lasting and practical solutions. Achieving true focus is more than just turning off your phone. It's a skill that requires continuous practice and clear strategies. Many people think they can focus on several things at once, but the reality is that the human brain works better when focusing on one task at a time. Trying to do multiple things at once may seem productive, but it ends up reducing the quality of the outcome. It's like trying to read a book while watching a movie. One of the two will lose your attention. To reach a deeper level of focus, it's essential to create an environment that promotes concentration. This means eliminating the chaos around you. If the goal is to work on something important, like studying for an exam or completing a project, a good tip is to use the clean space method. Organize the desk, remove unnecessary objects, and keep only what is relevant to the task. This reduces mental overload and helps maintain clarity. Focus also depends on how you manage your time. An effective strategy is to break tasks into 30-minute blocks, dedicating each block to a single activity. For example, if the goal is to write an article, the ideal is to dedicate 30 uninterrupted minutes to it, followed by a short 5-minute break. This technique is called Pomodoro and is widely used by professionals to increase efficiency and reduce mental fatigue. Focus is like a muscle. The more you train it, the stronger it gets. To strengthen this mental muscle, it is recommended to practice meditation or mindfulness techniques. Dedicating 10 minutes of the day to deep breathing, focusing only on the breath, helps the mind better concentrate on daily activities. This not only improves focus, but also reduces stress, creating a sense of calm that fosters productivity. Practical examples of activities to improve focus include reading a chapter of a book without interruptions, writing a page in a journal every day, or even solving puzzles to exercise the mind. The goal is to train the brain to keep attention on a single task until it's finished. A good reading recommendation is the book Deep Work, which teaches how to develop this skill consistently. On the other hand, it's important to avoid habits that sabotage focus, like keeping multiple browser tabs open at the same time. A practical tip is to use apps that block access to social media during work periods. This prevents the urge to just take a quick look from disrupting your performance. By committing to avoiding these distractions, focus becomes easier to achieve and sustain. But the real challenge starts now, maintaining focus over a prolonged period. This leads us to the next step, where a 30-day protocol is essential to ensure that focus turns into a permanent habit. The 30-day protocol is a powerful tool to transform your routine and gradually and consistently strengthen focus. The idea is simple. For an entire month, the person follows a schedule of 30 minutes of focused activities without interruptions, followed by a short 5-minute break. It sounds easy, but the magic lies in daily repetition. Over time, the brain adapts to this cycle and starts responding with more clarity and speed. On the first day, it may seem challenging to maintain full attention for 30 minutes, but persistence is key. A practical example of application is choosing a specific task, like studying a new subject or practicing a professional skill. During the focus period, it's essential to turn off notifications, let family or colleagues know about the concentration time, and, of course, keep a quiet environment. This creates the perfect conditions for diving into the task. As the days go by, the person starts to notice a significant improvement in productivity and the ability to maintain focus. By the end of the first week, the brain is already more accustomed to the rhythm, and the sense of accomplishment increases. To facilitate progress, it's worth using a focus journal, noting what was done in each 30-minute session and what obstacles were faced. This allows adjustments to the protocol, making it more effective as the days go by. The 30-day protocol is not just about focus. It also teaches the person to identify distraction patterns and understand better how their own mind works. For example, someone may notice they are more productive in the mornings and less focused after lunch. With this information, it's possible to adjust the schedule to maximize high-performance moments. The key is to learn from each day, without judging failures, but celebrating small advances. During this month, it's important to vary the activities to keep engagement high. A good practice is alternating between more intellectual tasks and others that are more practical. For example, writing a report during one focus session and, in the next, organizing a workspace. This variety avoids monotony and keeps enthusiasm throughout the process. By the end of the 30 days, the person should feel a clear change in their ability to maintain focus. But, like any habit, the protocol requires maintenance. This means that even after the initial month, it's helpful to continue with regular focus sessions to ensure that the gains are lasting. Think of the protocol as a mental gym. The more you practice, the stronger your focus muscle becomes. With the protocol established, now it's time to understand the concepts of anti-zone and the zone, two opposing forces that define your mental state during daily activities. The concept of the anti-zone is that mental state where everything seems confusing and disorganized. A person starts a task but quickly gets lost in random thoughts or gives in to the temptations of social media. It's like trying to run in quicksand. The effort is big, but the progress is minimal. This happens when goals aren't clear, the environment is full of distractions, and the mind feels scattered. In contrast, the zone is a state of pure flow where the mind is completely immersed in a single task. It's that feeling of time passing quickly while you are fully engaged in something important. When someone is in the zone, there's no room for distractions. A good example is a writer who loses track of time while crafting a story, or an athlete who ignores everything around them during a competition. The zone is where focus and productivity peak. The main difference between the anti-zone and the zone is the clarity of goals. In the anti-zone, the person isn't sure what to do first, so they end up jumping from one task to another without finishing anything. To enter the zone, it's essential to have clearly defined goals. This can be as simple as writing down on a piece of paper, "Today, I will focus on completing this report." When the mind knows what it needs to do, it aligns with the task. A practical example of how to avoid the anti-zone is to start the day with a preparation ritual. This might include reviewing the task list, setting the 3 top priorities for the day, and even meditating for a few minutes to clear the mind. On the other hand, one of the ways to enter the zone is by setting a timer for 25 to 30 minutes and focusing exclusively on one activity. When you notice that you're approaching this flow state, it's important to keep going and ride the momentum. It's important to understand that the anti-zone isn't just a failure of focus, but a result of poorly set goals and inadequate environments. If the workspace is full of visual distractions, like disorganized papers or devices left on, the brain naturally gets distracted. Adjusting the environment is crucial. Remove the excess, turn off unnecessary devices, and keep only what's essential in sight. This makes it easier to enter the zone. It's common to move in and out of these states throughout the day, but the key is to become more aware of it. If you realize you're in the anti-zone, take a quick break, breathe deeply, and reassess your priorities. The goal is to spend more time in the zone than in the anti-zone. The more the brain gets used to the flow state, the easier it is to reach it. With this new understanding of focus and mental clarity, it's time to explore another crucial element, the role of diet in achieving goals and maintaining a state of high performance. A balanced diet is fundamental for keeping the mind clear and focused. What you eat directly impacts your mental energy and ability to concentrate. Ultra-processed foods, rich in sugars and saturated fats, might provide a momentary feeling of pleasure, but they soon bring fatigue and lack of focus. On the other hand, a diet rich in lean proteins, fresh vegetables, and healthy fats promotes alertness and mental clarity, which are essential for progressing towards life goals. Science shows that the brain needs the right nutrients to function at its best. For example, foods rich in omega-3, like salmon, sardines, and walnuts, help improve memory and reaction time. Fruits like blueberries and strawberries are known for their antioxidant properties, which protect the brain from wear and tear. Including these foods in your routine is a simple way to improve mental performance without needing big changes in your diet. A balanced breakfast can make a huge difference in starting the day with focus. Instead of skipping this meal or eating something full of sugar, the recommendation is to invest in options that sustain both the brain and the body. A practical example is a plate of scrambled eggs with spinach and avocado, accompanied by a slice of whole grain bread. This provides the ideal combination of protein, fiber, and healthy fats to maintain energy and concentration throughout the morning. Besides choosing the right foods, it's important to pay attention to meal times. Eating regularly helps stabilize blood sugar levels, avoiding sudden drops in energy that affect focus. Planning quick and healthy snacks throughout the day, like baby carrots, nuts, or natural yogurt, keeps the brain fueled without causing glucose spikes. This helps avoid the infamous brain fog that often appears in the middle of the afternoon. Hydration also plays an essential role in mental clarity. Even slight dehydration can cause fatigue, difficulty concentrating, and irritability. Keeping a water bottle nearby and drinking regularly is a simple and effective way to ensure the brain is working at full capacity. A good habit is starting the day with a large glass of water right after waking up to start the day well hydrated. For those looking for a quick boost in focus, it might be interesting to try natural supplements like caffeine or ginseng, which help increase attention immediately. However, it's always recommended to consult a professional before introducing any supplements into your diet. The idea is to always prioritize whole, nutritious foods, using supplements only as additional support. Nutrition is just one element that contributes to focus and success, but it's a powerful foundation that shouldn't be ignored. With all this in mind, it's time to wrap up this learning journey and apply these lessons to transform your life. Now that you know how to take back control of your mind, don't stop here. Keep watching the recommended videos on the screen to dive even deeper into your knowledge and truly transform your routine. And don't forget, Cineboost was a game changer in my own journey to focus and energy. Check out the pinned comment for more information. Subscribe to the channel and activate notifications so you don't miss any of the content that's coming up. Let's transform together.